Okay, so it's kind of windy right now, but I was out here earlier and I was kind of inspecting things around while I was feeding and watering and such. And so there's a scenario that kind of came to mind as I was kind of running through my inspections. So, first of all, in a security-minded aspect of looking for vulnerabilities, you always have to identify the thing that you're protecting. In this scenario, these things are the things we're protecting right here. Okay? And now we've got to identify a threat or like signs of a threat. So, if I come over here and the cock is going to sound at me really good, but you can see signs that we've had attacks here, and where was it really clear? Somewhere around here. And maybe this one blew away, did it? Oh wait, it's over here. Okay, so we've got our sign of threat right in here. Okay, so we've got to assess in order to keep that from happening, and I haven't found any other bodies from it, and I don't remember that plume being there like a few days ago when I last checked because I was gone for a little bit. But with previous encounters, what we do is we assess what we've already done to prevent the threat from continuing, because we've already lost a few birds this year. So, the previous threat that we had that seemed to be letting them through was this section here. And if we kind of look and inspect, we can see that this chicken wire is chicken wire that I've put here just a little bit ago. And that's actually helped cut down on it. But after putting that section right there, I've had to come in and I noticed that there were some other issues back over here, kind of like over in this area or over here, where we had some. So in order to shore things up, I basically took another run of it and tied it up in here so that, you can kind of see, I think, yeah, right in there. Got the roll right there, just in case I need to expand it down further, or just because, so it's there. But this seemed to be a popular area where we had a lot of feathers go missing. And now that's slowed down, but we come along the fence line and we just kind of inspect it for any possible areas where there are holes. So like we've got, seem to don't have it too bad, but we're kind of like testing the fence. Our ties are closer, and so far from as we analyze and log keep track of what is going on, we're also looking for areas where things came through. So I guess you could almost call this a blue team analysis of our situation. But you also got to have a little bit of that red team going with you to kind of make sure. And so we're also looking at how we have things set up. So like up here, we've got the nice top of the fence there. And we don't have the spikes up there. We have it down here. And so actually we can see that some's been able to crawl in under here pretty well. We just don't see signs of it. And I hadn't thought about that before until just barely. So we don't see signs of whatever it is, any fur or anything, which was kind of the big thing I was looking for. But now I'm starting to rethink what I was doing. And thinking in my threat assessment. But it doesn't turn back out there. So maybe what we look for instead is where it pushes back out on the fence line here. And so, yeah, that assessment is actually one that I hadn't made before. I was looking at the wrong signs this morning. So we come through, we don't see anything similar. We don't see anything digging holes underneath it, which was kind of the big one that I was looking for. And then it kind of, just barely hit me like, wait, that is something. Okay, so this one is a older stretch. You can see we've got the tie here and tie here. If I push onto this, we're pretty decently solid there. So we come along the fence line further, and we've actually got some spots where it's actually pretty easy to push it out and away from the fence line. So I think, was it this section right here maybe? This one. So this one in particular, you can see there's almost like an escape hatch going on here. And so what we've got to do with that twine that I had over here, is basically tie it back down, kind of get a few more ties and tie it in closer here so that it can't stretch out like that. Let's see. Because you can see it's kind of curled out underneath there, like something's escaping. We don't know necessarily what, but there are also sections where it's a bit wider apart. You can see this hole right here. I mean, it's not necessarily too much, but it is something. And then this stretch of wire has like the one right there. And we don't see anything until about right here. Another small hole that something's going to cut themselves on. So if that one section is merely the entrance, and we're not going to find a tuft of fur in there, I guess, is basically where we're at. So for the most part, this fence line is okay, but it seems that whatever's coming in and getting chicken tendies has slowed down a little bit, possibly because there's not a good exit plan, but that assessment may change here as we get up to the front. Because now that I have assessed new light on what is going on, we can actually take a proper assessment based on that threat that we've identified, or that vulnerability, and go from there. So that one's kind of pushed in. We've got the same configuration here where we've got the spikes on the bottom to try and discourage anything like that, but yeah. So now, I mean, the one possibility is like this little trench here where water came in through, but it doesn't look like anything's really made a path through there. So, taking that stuff into account. And yeah, nothing too bad here. Now the gates here, if we pull it in, push it out, I mean, there's a little bit of give and play, but not too much. And you've also got the dirt right close to it. So if we come back over here, we've got the chicken wire that curls down here. So that's like down into the ground basically. But it's also tied down here to the bottom of the cattle panel. And then if we kind of take an assessment at the gate right here, nothing too big is going to fit through there. But one thing we see here is where's my finger? Right there. There's like a wind space between there because of the wind blowing the canopy there away from stuff, and now chickens and stuff can get between there. So that's kind of like, if you wanted a full long threat assessment, that's one way to go about doing it, your kind of methodology that you're thinking about, and just like, okay, where do I need to fill in order to make things look good? And also, like, if you get escapees, it's also important to figure out how those leaks are happening. So you've got to identify, hey, how are these leaks happening? And I haven't quite found that out, even though I've had the incentive of feet on the other side of the fence line in order to lure them back out. But I haven't seen any dead chickens, corpses laying around from the last couple of days, but I'm still keeping an eye on that. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.